Hey YouTube, it's Dimitri. Today is going to make a few announcements, channel updates. I'm going to be in the Midwest this week coming up. Very, very short trip. A huge thank you to Bowling Green State University, one of the clubs up there. Shout out to Daniel, invited me to come up and to present and to speak. They've invited, I think, some of the clubs from Michigan to come down. If you're in that area, you can just fire me a message on LinkedIn. I'll put a link in the description below. You can message me. I'll give you more information if you want. But I'm really excited to be back in the Midwest. I went to school at the University of Michigan. Great to see some alumni, hopefully, or some students or some practitioners. Excited to get involved with Bowling Green State University as well. On top of that, I have some other projects going on behind the scenes, unofficial, so I can't really share too many details. But there looks to be a project from one of the top quant master's programs that wants to put together a multi-group quant presentation seminar series here. So more or less, they would love to bring in some of the other big name universities, small name universities as well. Get involved here, guys. This is an opportunity to build out that quant finance community a bit better here. Wanting to come together as a group, and then they could hop online for these virtual presentation. So this would be sponsored by the one university. It would be kind of a networking group of different sorts of programs. Bring in top speakers that we can have come in and chat about quantitative finance topics, careers in the quant space, from a variety of different angles, from buy side to sell side to securitizations to all kinds of stuff. So that is exciting. I'm unofficially working this on the back end of that, and that is coming up. The other part here that has been a huge struggle, so many of you have been wondering what's going on here. Project Phoenix was I left my job that I had, I turned down a big promotion, and I completely stepped back from the industry, at least for a little bit, on the daily grind, working within that industry sector kind of piece there. I still have a bunch of stuff going on the back end of this. So what is going on with that? We have the Dallas Half Marathon portion coming up. So I've been training just to improve my physical health. I've lost 10 pounds. I'm feeling better. My stress levels are lower. I'm able to be a little bit more creative. I have more time to focus and think and process. What many of you don't realize is when you run a team, a division, and you have all these demands and stress on top of that, your quant abilities to focus on a specific task, whether it's modeling or whatnot, go out the window with management. You are just running and chasing cats everywhere is what it seems like. And so because of that, I have taken a step back just to kind of regroup, regather myself, and figure out which direction I'm going to head, what I'm going to do. And part of that was just getting healthy, back on track, feeling like myself again, and trying to figure out what's really going to make me tick and where I can add the most value. So that has been a big focus of mine, of where I add value. I want to feel like I'm adding value somewhere. We've been doing career consulting, which has been great. As I mentioned, the half marathon, the BMW half marathon I'm doing is on December 14th. So we are a few weeks out. I'm a bit behind on that. I've been a little bit sick. My kids have been sick, which then gets me sick. And then I'm trying to take care of kids and myself simultaneously. So that has been a fun challenge and juggle as well. And then I've mentioned AVO Labs, and I feel like I am spinning my wheels stuck in this AVO Labs space of what to do here. So for those of you that aren't aware with AVO Labs, Fred Violet runs a company called AVO Labs. AVO Labs has products and stuff set up right now currently, which you can go purchase and buy. He uses non-parametric, non-linear statistics to do things like portfolio optimization. Why is it unique? Why is it different? Well, one, not many people are even using this. Not many people are even aware of this. There is an NNS package in R, but you would have to use that to engineer your solutions to get into portfolio optimization, time series, and options pricing, which are the three products that AVO Lab offers. It's really cool, interesting approach. And then you have on the back end of this, me talking to Fred back and forth about, this needs to be something bigger. This needs to be a true fintech company, a financial technology company above and beyond NNS here. So above this. I look at the industry and realize a lot of it's just not done well. And people say, well, how do you know that? Well, you guys, I got paid for 7 years out of the last 11, 12 years I've been working to go in and look at all these models people built and to tell you why the models were wrong, to build challenger models to show you that you didn't do it right, and then show you a better way to do it. And then actually put these into production and sit and be a part of this process over time. So it's not like I'm consulting on these of just giving an opinion and running away. No, we went in and built challenger models and helped, poke and prod and get model development teams, so quant research teams, to do things the right way. So I did that for quite some time. For those of you that don't know as well, I worked in model development. I ran a model development team, a research team, and a quant dev team. I've built them up in 2 different banks, 2 different firms here, they quant dev teams, and I've built a model development and research team on my own at another firm, put in risk management. I did a lot of this work. And so I see OVVO Labs as this connecting piece of models just aren't done well in practice in an industry. And a lot of firms don't want to pay full-time validation teams to look at their work and validate it. I think OVVO Labs could come in and do that. But again, one of the hardest parts of this is finding investors. Okay, so we haven't really gone out. One of the hard parts is the valuation piece of this. We looked at it, we put it together. I've seen the ridiculous AI, ML, firm, fintech valuations I feel like are way too high. Being who I am, I'm having a hard time understanding what to price out the investment as. So how much investment we need. It's going to be at least a few $1 million because we want at least a 3 to 4 year runtime to get things up and going and running. And we need to pay myself, we need to pay Fred, we need to pay a quant dev to come in and optimize. We'd like to move a lot of this in the NNS into C++, for example. So we need capital to get it going and off the ground. I think it's a golden idea, but the evaluation piece I feel like is challenging, and we came up with one originally, and I feel like it was way too low. But I'm having a hard time with my traditional finance, corporate finance background, doing some sort of valuations here. So if anyone's interested in chatting with me about OVVO Labs, I would love to see if anyone's interested in the investment side, the valuation side. We would like to put together this full research spectrum here. So NNS can be applied to many, many different problems from credit risks. I think some legal side of this litigation valuation process was looked at and worked on by Fred as well. Fred's an expert in NNS. That's why he is the founder and creator of the R package for NNS. He's done a bunch of research on that as well. On the flip side of that, I've worked in time series and credit modeling, and Fred's worked as a trader. And so we have this unique blend of buy side, sell side projects modeling put together. It's just trying to figure out how to get the investor piece put in. What is the actual valuation going to be? And of course, being me, I want to make sure the investors feel like they are investing in something that they love and breathe and sleep and want to be a part of. I'm not interested in vultures that are coming in to put a bunch of money in and then going to yell and scream they need returns and they need them within 5 years. Like, I've been through this process before with other companies. It's a nightmare. I don't like it. I don't want to be involved with it. We're looking for people that are truly invested in the fintech process here and looking at how you improve model validation across the board here. So these are kind of the things that are going on right now with my career options. I am still eyeing and keeping in mind a chief risk officer, head of validation, head of model development at a bank in the background, because that seems like what I've done well at. I excel at putting all the risk frameworks together. I can do actually the model development, the math, the stats. I've worked on the implementation. I've worked with the business sides quite a bit on the strategy and implementation of using models, which is a whole other sector at that. So I'm still keeping that in the back of my mind. It is much easier to join a big bank that is well ran, put together with support and teams around you. That is something I do miss quite a bit. But then I also have this OVVO Labs and also my personal consulting. So for those of you that are unaware, I'm doing career consulting right now. I'm doing academic consulting. I feel like I am starting to get really in the weeds on the academic consulting now. And I'm realizing there are a lot of small wins programs could do, like little small changes you could make to make massive impacts on 1, your rankings, 2, the quality of students you draw, and 3, the network that you would build within the industry itself. Now, I'd love to share them and give them away for free, but at the same time, right, I still got to pay bills. So we're doing program assessments, which take me about 10 weeks of my time. You can imagine, figure out the cost there for consulting is a little bit expensive, but it starts to put the pieces together on what needs to get done to revamp, change, direct, and move a program. And even after an assessment, right, you still have to get that implemented in some way, shape, or form. So whether you do that internally or whether you pay me to put these portions and pieces together, that is another interesting component and piece of this, which has been great. And then the AVO Lab side kind of ties into my corporate consulting of just going through things statistically, mathematically, looking at model developments, and helping firms with either risk management, which is a much broader topic covering qualitative and quantitative components, as well as model development and validation pieces, depending on the wheelhouse and what I'm interested in working on in projects that are available. So anyways, those are all the updates here on Fancy Quant, the channel, the business, and what's going on here. I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments below on doing more live streams as well. So I'm kind of playing with this idea a bit. I'm also looking at that speaker seminar series and how we can tie this into different universities. Any feedback you guys, any opinions you have would be great. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And as always, until next time.